Hello, I'm Hauke Scheer and I design 3D printed action figures. This character is called Poodle Moth. If you don't know what a poodle moth is, check them out. They're really cute. It's an older character, but I decided to give him an update. When I went into this project, I had 3 goals. First, I wanted to see if I could make pinless elbow and knee joints. As you can see here, the pin is directly attached to the little knee part here. So I hope to be able to just plug the knee into the leg and then hope that everything will stick together. So for this to work, I need a resin that is soft and gets even softer when heated, so that I can heat the upper leg a little bit and then push the knee part in. And once everything is cooled down again, it should be firm enough to hold together. The other thing I wanted to try was to make a character that is fully color printed. Usually my 3D prints still need painting because you can't really color print in resin materials. So what I decided with this figure is to break it apart in different color parts and then print all those parts individually and then put the figure back together again. Luckily, the Sunlu toughness resin comes in gray, white and black, and that's exactly the color this character uses. The human head was a little bit challenging for me because, well, I can't really print in skin color. So I came up with the idea that this particular character uses black contact lenses and special makeup to look more scary even when he doesn't wear his helmet, because he wants to pretend to be some kind of supernatural being. As you can see, I had to print all the tiny parts like the eyebrows and the eyes separately in order for this to work. The last thing I wanted to try with this figure was to give it an action feature. I have recently tried some like punching fists and stuff like that, but I wanted to make something that's a bit more complex. So I wanted to give this figure flapping wings. I built a little mechanism here at the back. And at first I was a little bit concerned that it may be too intricate and break apart when I had to use like different parts to make it stick together. But then I thought, hey, it's 3D printing. I can basically print the whole thing in one, and that will make it much sturdier. 3D printing allows you to do some stuff that the traditional way doesn't allow you. So once everything was sculpted and ready for printing, I put it into my slicer. And well, there's not so much to see here. Just when you do stuff like limbs and parts that have a lot of detail, make sure to find a good balance between putting the right supports onto the figure, but also make sure that the supports won't destroy any details. So I always try that the supports are at the back, or at least in places where you don't usually look. Yeah, and that's basically it. Always make sure you have enough support so the print works, but also make sure that the supports don't interfere with any detail. Once everything is set up, the figure gets printed. Then the print has to be removed from the printer and the printing base. Then the print needs to be pre-cleaned, and I also remove everything from the supports before I start cleaning. And once that is done, everything is put into a cleaning tank with alcohol, and then it gets a good cleaning. I usually use 2 tanks. One is a little bit dirtier to get the rough stuff off, and then I use another tank that's quite clean to make sure that no dirt sticks to the figure. And the last thing you have to do is to cure the parts. I usually don't cure them too long because I want the figures to still be soft. The last thing I have to do is to assemble the figure. As I showed you before when I showed you the 3D model, some parts are quite intricate, like the head here. You have to put very small pieces like the eyes into the head. Luckily, everything seems to work. I had the right tolerances when it came to the plug holes and the eyes. And the hair also works pretty well. It fits pretty well like a helmet. The helmet is constructed the same way. You have to plug in the eyes and the antennas. Some parts, like the torso, need to get boiled in hot water, so they get soft enough that you can plug all the other parts into them. And here you can see the assembly of the wing mechanism. As I said before, it was all printed as one piece. All you have to do is plug it into the back of the torso and put the cover on top of it. And then put the wings onto the ball joints. And yeah, everything seems to work fine. You can do a nice little back and forward flapping with the wings. So here now is Pudelmorst all put together. You can see the wing mechanism, everything works. It flaps just fine. You can flap it and pose him and do some flight action, which is quite nice. You can also still pose the wings independently from the mechanism. The elbows and knees also work pretty well. You can pose them, the parts hold together tight, and yeah, so far I'm quite happy with the figure. And of course you have two heads, you have the helmet and the humanoid head, and you can swap them. So this was my little presentation of Pudelmorst. I hope you like the figure. If you want, you can check the figure out in person. I am here at the convention in the artist section. So just swing by and say hi to me. I would love to hear from you, and I hope you enjoyed this little presentation.